Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus SLaw, I think Spartan Law and stuff. I got a new phone, and in the past few days, and I lost all my videos from the previous war, transferring everything over to my new phone. And it's just kind of been a pain. I've been playing on my old phone though, because I have a screen protector that isn't glass, and my hands sweat when I play, and it helps when it's not glass. So it's just been kind of like a mess. So sorry about the last war. It was only a few fights, but getting into this war, I have White Magneto, Professor X, and Claire. I'm using White Magneto here because he is bleed immune, so I won't bleed when I take any axe hits. I'm also not throwing any specials because she has cleanse charges up. And when I throw a special, I will armor break her and place another debuff on her, which will trigger the damage reflection node. So this is basically just a very long White Magneto fight. I'm just going to hit her with basics. I haven't fought Chi a whole lot. I'm using a White Magneto pre-fight so she does not purify, or cleanse I should say, my parry. And that way I can knock her down. I am running max recoil because of my Professor X fights that I'm taking after this. However, I don't know how hard his special 3 will hit. I just took White Magneto to rank 5 actually for this war. I was debating it because I have a feeling he might be released as a 7-star, but I really like his SIG because it gets you another persistent charge for non-metal fights. So I use him for attack a lot, not so much in the recent seasons, but it does come in handy, just like right here. So here I've already decided I'm going to push her to, I'm going to use my special 3. So I get one more heavy to try to get more prowess. I have 3 of the big prowess up, and I throw my special 3 to basically end the fight. She's under, I think, 15%. And I'm curious to see what it would have done. It did 121k. That's good information to have for next time I use White Magneto, especially at rank 5, and with 3 prowess up, I can kind of gauge what his damage potential is with that special 3 to end fights. Now, this is a fight I took last war as well with Professor X. The danger here basically is every time you knock him down, Absman, he's going to get armor broken, and it's going to ramp him up, his charges. So I actually have max pacify or petrify up right here, and I'm doing short combos because I want my SIG to basically ramp my my charges up a bit. And at this point, I'm just going to try to push him to a special 2. If he throws a special 1, I'm going to deactivate it like I did right there, and he's under a bar, so I'm using my falter to get a long ramp. The Power Start 1 basically allows me to get over 50 charges, 75 in my brain, so I could actually do this. Manually trigger mind control, and I am running max recoil because I'm taking a bunch of X fights anyways. And this will special lock him, and I'll be able to spam my special 3s at this point. I run Professor X quite a bit, and while the special 3 spam is, like, you know, super safe, and people say that he just needs class boost, he doesn't actually need them. His damage rotation with just his mind control and all the specials does a ton of damage. Especially at R5 Ascended or R2 7-star. I just like the special 3. I'm going to be using him for 5 straight fights. Why not throw a class boost on and just, you know, end those fights, you know, safely. But with the Power Start 1, what it does is it gives you even more safety. Because you're not worried about getting to 3 bars of power for a longer duration, you're basically getting to 3 bars before they get to 3 bars. So if you can actually get to your 3 bars, as long as you're over 50 charges, you can manually trigger mind control in case you get in trouble, and your SP3 spam should be enough depending on the health pool. For these lane fights, it's absolutely safe. Now for this Quicksilver, I want to parry and then trigger his evade. So there, I put it on cooldown. I didn't have points on pacify. I actually had them just waiting to put them on after this fight because I didn't want to to disable his evade with ability action reduction. So I did want to put it on cooldown. Now I'm over 75 charges. I got my vigilance up, so I can parry heavy safely, and he's not going to evade it. And at this point, I just want to get to my special 3, preferably when the protection is down. So I decide to combo into mind control, and then trigger it. The protection's down, and I'm gonna throw this first special 3. And this is just something I've been doing kind of recently. It's like, okay, I don't need to heavy charge into it. He does a ton of damage to special 3 spam, and just kind of, you know, take the opening where I can, and be fine with it. So you see the second special 3 there kills him, and now I have 3 persistent charges. And as I'm going through my paths, I'm obviously ramping Professor X, so each special 3 is going to hit harder and harder the first time around. Now I have Kate, and for this Kate fight, the plan basically was I threw points on Pacify so I could reduce her stun with just two parries. So the first one's going to give me global prowess, which is going to reduce her ability actually by 34%. Now, the second one gets it over 60%, but my parry fails and I eat a combo, and I'm like, oh man. I use my falter there to get a heavy charge, but at this point I'm like, I need to get over 50 charges, and I'm going to manually trigger mind control here. I don't want to mess around with this. I'm low health. If she throws something into my block, it's going to hurt. So this is exactly what I've been thinking for the past few wars. It's like, in case I get in trouble, I can actually do this, and I should have time to spam my special 3, especially with her health pool being so little on a lane fight. So, you know, stuff happens in war. It doesn't go perfectly. You just have to be prepared to adjust, and obviously with the power start ones, it really kind of makes this really safe. So that went down easy peasy, and I'm trying to run some of these boosts, you know, together before they run out. And now for this thing fight, this is on a debuff knockdown node. When we were planning, I was talking to Drew, to Andrew the Rough, about who to send here, and he was suggesting a few people, and I was like, you know what, I can just X this. I used to X this thing on Path 5, the debuff immune on knockdown, and all I'm gonna do basically is just parry heavy. I have a white Magneto pre-fight here that I'm using, and I'm gonna parry heavy to 100 charges, and I'm just gonna time. I want to make sure that I have global prowess up, obviously, and I want to make sure that the node protection is down with a knockdown. Here, I want him to throw the special 2, and I'm almost max ramped at 100 charges, but I'm gonna heavy here, and you see that his protection is down. No indestructible charge on him, and the node is also down. So I throw the special 3, and he's gonna do quite a bit of damage, right? It goes from like over 90% to under 50%, and I'm like, okay, now I still have all my power. At this point, he's at 11 rock stacks, so I bait a heavy to combo to get him over 15 stacks, and I can bait this. I'm gonna beat his block to get more global prowess, to push him back and control the map, and get him to throw that special and dump his rock stacks. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't need to charge to over 50. I just need to throw this special 3. I don't care if it gives him power at this point. My special 3 is going to hit pretty hard. If this doesn't kill him, I'll be in really good shape to close it out with basics, but ultimately it's enough to kill him. He's doing quite a bit of damage here, and now I am fully ramped with Professor X, and I have one more Professor X fight, and I'm fighting this Elsa on the root mini. So basically, if I don't hit her with a certain amount of time, I get rooted. It has bubble shield, which is also why I wanted Pacify on here, because I want to parry, and I'm using a power start 1 boost here because her special is obviously, I can dex this SB1, but I don't want to feed her indestructible charges, and if I take them in the block, bubble shield will trigger. So if I can limit some of them with ability action reduction, which didn't happen with those first 2 parries, then I will. But here I get 3 parries, 3 bubble shield charges, and I'm like, okay, now she throws this, and I try parrying both of those. I missed the parry, but I use my falter here to get a long ramp. she's actually really passive here, so I'm like, okay, I need to get a parry, and I miss it, and I dex out of that. Now she's indestructible, and I'm like, oh my god, this is not what I wanted. So here she goes passive, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna beat into her block and get some global prowess, and manually trigger mind control, and then the SP3 is there, and this is where the power start 1 actually really helps, because I was already at 3 bars of power. Now she did have power focus too, but if she would have thrown that SP2 into my block, bubble shield would have triggered, and I would have taken some damage for sure. So ultimately, this fight, you know, went down rather smoothly. Two special 3s, and she's dead. So those gray boosts just get kind of like costly. I didn't really use that much in the past couple wars, so I just figured I would go with them. Now, for this fight, this is a Nova on Conflictor. I have a White Magneto pre-fight and a Shock Odin here placed. And I'm using an indestructible boost, and I'm running the bleed side of the recoil tree. And I'm going to start bleed immune, so I'm going to parry and heavy, just to kind of get some power. And he throws that special right away, and I parry it, so I get some more global prowess. And I want to get at least 3. I hit more into his block to build over 6 with that parry, and then I throw this special 2, and I'm going to land my debuff immunity, and Conflictor is no longer going to trigger with all the global prowess I have. I take all of this on the block, and at this point I intercept him, and I throw my special 2, and I'm healing my damage with that bleed curse. I go into counter his heavy, and I was going to end with the relic and the special 3 if it didn't kill him. So that fight went super smooth. Felt really good. For the next fight, I have an Adam Warlock on the Aspect Mini. I threw the poison tree up as well. Shout out to Vacuum in BG1 who sent me his fight video, and I did that because I actually wanted to, not just for more damage, but I'm going to try to tank an SB3. I actually was going to try to roll those as the indestructible boost together, but Andy decided to taxi Ghost and gave him horrible RNG, and gave me horrible RNG too, because I have his read debuffs on here. But the plan basically is get into poison. I power gain from the bleed, and then I power gain from purifying the poison, and that gives me a little bit more power. Now here, I transfer into the incinerate mode, and I wanted to parry there. It's a special 2 bias, and I thought he would try to hit me and I could parry him, but of course he throws that special 1 right in my face, and I lose my indestructible boost. I throw the special 2, and he has debuff immunity on, so he can't gain any of his unblockable buffs or his sovereignty either. So at this point, he's just really special 1, you know, friendly. But right here, I should have parried, but I think he's gonna come at me, and he dashes backwards, and I try to intercept with a special 2. I really should have just parried him, and I would have been in far better control. So at this point, I'm like, okay. He throws a special 2, and I'm like, all right, perfect. I can just kind of, you know, avoid it. It's unblockable, but you can avoid the whole thing as long as I don't give him too many charges for the global. And I'm like, all right, at this point, his pod comes up, so I can't hit him. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna intercept with my relic. I'm gonna hit him with a combo, dash back and get a parry, and then go into my special 2. And I'm going to end it with a special 2 at the end there. So ultimately went rather smooth, but we closed it out after that hiccup. Shout out to MSD who joined us recently, Ghost, and myself for the MVPs. We did end up getting a win, and I will see you guys in the next one.